$. Let me get this tweeted out here so everybody can join in. 1 second, please. And I don't know why it just copies that line, even though everything is there. Okay, cool. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Awesome, awesome. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a great weekend. We sure had fun last night in the Elliott Wave show with Paul. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit about Bitcoin. So today's topic is everyone is scared of this line in the sand for Bitcoin. So it should be an interesting one, guys. Appreciate everybody for tuning in and checking it out. Before we get started, though, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Well, let's check here and see where we left off in the market. Well, first thing what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off in the market today, and then we're going to give me 1 second here, guys. I need to detach this here, and here. Give me 2 seconds here, guys. We got a couple little technical glitches going on here tonight. So we got this computer sometimes gets some of the screens a little bit frozen here. 1 second. So what we're going to do is tonight is we're going to take a look and see where we left off with the market today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and we're going to see what we're up to or down to here this evening, and then we're going to take we're going to go over the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right. So SPX, guys. Oops, wrong window right here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. There. And sorry, the broadcaster's a little bit messed up here today, pulling up a different window. There we go. All right, so good. so there we go. So SPX, guys, green on the monthly chart. So we've been reviewing this for a while, and we've been red for a good portion of the month here so far. Why can't I click on my? I'm lost my YouTube. Why? It's so challenging here tonight. Why am I having so many issues with my browser tonight? Goodness gracious. Sorry, guys. I must have hit a button or something like that. It got things going a little bit funky. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 sec. I don't know what I clicked here. Like it's just moving all the windows around. I don't know what I hit. Give me 1 second here. Let me 1 sec. Task manager. Goodness gracious, got some issues here tonight. All right, let me end that task here. Okay, and reopen Google or Chrome rather. See if that. There we go. Okay, cool. Woo! What a night. Okay. We can see you on the YouTube. Nice. Cool. Let's see. So we got this here. All right. So good stuff here. All right. Yeah, I know exactly. So goodness gracious. All right. So anyway, guys, here we go. Hopefully everybody can see everything now. So good stuff here. So we've got SPX here, green on the month here, back to green on the month after being up 41 points here today. So that ended up changing things a little bit, right? We've been red for a little bit of the month here so far, and then now start to push green, right? So we did an inside week last week. We're starting to take that up, right? Daily chart here over the 80 MA. Right, and trying to grind its way up, right? So we did have some low volume here today, but we're still supporting a kind of a bullish wave count right now. It is possible we could still be working on a triangle, but generally here, like we talked about last night, this looks like a ABC wave 1, right? This is kind of your 1-2 move right here. I don't know why it switched over to this one here. So this is ABC wave ABC and then wave 1, 2, right, and working on wave 3. So we're continuing to track this one to see if the this impulsive wave decides if it wants to continue. So good stuff there. Let's say with the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening. So with the futures here today, guys, we had a strong push at the open. We actually were we were pretty bullish at the open today. We pointed out some bullish moves at the open, right? So using some of our option techniques that really made this a phenomenal trade here today to get to the top of the signal zone. Came back down, tagged the bottom of the signal zone, started to work back off of it, right, and ended up getting into the single prints from the 10th of May from a couple weeks ago. And so far this evening, we're up about $6.50. Kind of a little flat here at the bottom. So let's see how this holds. At this point now, we're basically breaking below the geometric. We just need to, there's no volume coming in on it. It's 100 contracts, right? So let's see how this holds going into the evening. If there's some real volume starts to come in, they could try to push this one down, right? So we'll see how that goes. But good stuff, guys. So today, now that we got everything kind of working right here, so today, guys, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. And so what is the line in the sand that everybody's scared of here with Bitcoin? So what's been going on with Bitcoin, right? There's been a couple of kind of main headlines that have been driving this thing a little bit bonkers recently, right? So we've got, we talked about this a little bit last night, but one of the things with Bitcoin, I'm going to pull out the Bitcoin futures here on I think this one, we're down to 1,000 points right here, right? So kind of just going into this evening, right? So, but one of the big catalysts that we've seen recently is regulation, right? So one of the big things with Bitcoin, right, is the freedom, right? Non-traceable, right? To be able to have a non sort of like essentially, I mean, it's still a fiat currency. Well, I mean, there's actually a limited amount, so it actually is kind of defined as a type of money, right? So, but it kind of operates independently, right, from a lot of the Treasury, right, and Federal Reserves and central banks around the world, right. And so this is kind of a big thing. The whole big concern about it has been like cracking down on it, banning it, things like that. So one of the big headlines that has been going on, right, is China, right. So they've come out and basically a couple big things that are on that are weighing on Bitcoin is China. Right? Why is that? Right? So one of the big reasons is that one, they don't like it, right? I mean, it's just that it's kind of contrary to the way they operate, right? So within their government, and so we got that going on, right? And then, but also simultaneously, right? One of the big things that China wants to do is they really want to get out of this carbon-based energy production, right? And they're really making doing their an effort to try to shift to a less carbon emissions to power their grid, and so that's why they're starting to work on nuclear power plants, things like that, right? So, but Bitcoin heavily uses energy, right, to mine bitcoins, right? And so that's another reason that China's kind of cracking down on this too. We're seeing it in other countries too, like India, and of course a little bit different in the United States, but still cracking down on. Janet Yellen came out last week and was basically saying they're going to start taxing it, right? And that's been a big fear of folks on this Bitcoin, the crypto phenomenon too, is the taxation of it, right? So that's kind of starting to weigh on it. And then of course Elon Musk steps in it too, and starts to say like, hey, I'm no longer support Bitcoin because of the carbon footprint, right? So basically the same reason that China's really not supporting it too. One of the reasons that China's not supporting it too, right? So and then Elon's like kind of backpedaling a little bit today about it. Talking, looking for insights into how to like reduce the carbon footprint of crypto and all that stuff, right? So really, really interesting stuff. But what's the line in the sand, right? What are we really looking at here? So one of the big things that we're tracking here on Bitcoin is the macro upper trend line. Right, and so for a while it was just kind of channeling around, right? You can kind of see this here. We had this nice channel going on, right? Everything was fine, and then we broke out of the channel. And we started to go. After we broke out of that channel, right? We formed a fresh low, and then intersected with the highs. Our new level is this one, right? We lost the bump line already, right? We lost the bump, came back, retested it, and lost it. Bear flag lost it. We came right here to this line. This is a huge level for Bitcoin to hold, and we've been talking about this a lot in the bubble report. We've been calling out these levels, right? We've been talking about here today, like if we lost this inside day right here, there's a good chance we could test 35,000, which we did, right? And then we're like, okay, well, we got to hold here, right? We got to hold that 30,000, this support area right here, and so the real big thing is here we undershot the macro upper trend line. And we're basically just kind of holding it here right now. So this is the line in the sand, right? So this is, if we can stay above this, right, we can stay bullish, right? It can continue to work its way up. But as we continue to break down here, and the real true breakdown in this one is if we can get we're in a trend box right now, right? So from the highs to the lows. So if we can confirm below this box with increasing volume here on Bitcoin, right, then we're talking about a trend shift. right? And that really starts to, and that puts us in a downtrend, right? A temporary downtrend, or at least a temporary downtrend here on Bitcoin, right? So what we would do is we'd have a downward trend line like this, right? And we would assume that we're bearish until proven otherwise, until, right, we can get the fresh all-time highs, right? So this is a line in the sand right here, guys, the bottom of the trend box, right? So this low right here on the futures was 3205. Right, so that's a big area. There's an open gap below on this, and there's a major cluster zone right here around 20,000. Right, so again below there, then we can get into just the chop territory down here too. So this is a very interesting week and a very interesting couple of months here for Bitcoin, and I think we need to keep an eye on it and see what it does, right? Because the more notice how we had an update today, right, in Bitcoin, but we also had an update in the market, right? And sometimes these equities go hand in hand, right? If risk is on for Bitcoin, a lot of times risk is on for the market, right? So because it's very speculative, right? So, but if risk is off for Bitcoin, you might see some withdrawal out of the market and maybe into maybe some more stable places, right, to put it, like cash or gold, things like that. So those are some other possibilities. But we definitely want to keep an eye on this trend box and see if we can close below it with increasing volume. That is our line in the sand here for Bitcoin. So good stuff, guys. Lots of news, lots of headlines on this one. Again, this exciting to watch as the price action unfolds and as the narrative unfolds. So good stuff there. Anyway. Really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. Hopefully you guys found that helpful and interesting. At this point now, if anybody's got any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff there. All right, so the Nest, making it bright and early. I love it. So let's take a look. So we got spot on the radar. So it's kind of interesting, right? We talked about this yesterday. And was looking a little bit, we'll see. But I really like the decent candle here today. I would have liked to see a little more volume, but I like how we're back over the 80 MA here on spot. So we'll see if that continues to work its way up. And then CMG. This one recently made a list of names that are looking interesting. I think maybe there's like some dark pool activity or something like that on it. But anyway, we overshot the channel right here, and it's we could be doing a bear pennant right here, struggling at the 80 MA. It's a tricky name to trade, right? It's expensive, $1,300. If anything needs to do a stock split, Chipotle I think should, right? Because it would be fun to trade, but it's really almost impossible anymore, like intraday. If you care about price action and it's not gapping against your intraday, stuff like that, right? So if you care about liquidity, right? So anyway, wow. So looking pretty good. Right, we talked about this last night, right? Increased volume the other day. We're hoping to get a doji sandwich up. Maybe a potential double pause day right here, so we'll see if that goes. Again, I like the volume from the other day, so let's just keep an eye on it. It might pull back a little bit. Just wait for your next strong day and see if you get any follow through on that one. So good stuff there. And Shirley sent a few in via email. Shirley, hope you're doing great out there. Thanks so much. So DKNG coming alive today, guys. We talked about this not too long ago. In fact, on one of our shows, we were like, I think Paul would like this one, right? And we pulled right back to the 618 and started to work our way up. Really, really incredible move here on DKNG. So we'll see if that gets any follow through. Again, a little bit of an upper shadow on that one at this point here, but great follow through from our 618 retracement. Twitter with a strong day today, guys. This was on our action names list from the bubble report this morning. We liked how consolidated it was yesterday after a big move, basically turned into a doji sandwich up or a measured move up. So nice stuff there. Net, again, this made its doji sandwich move up there. Nice measure move up on net. 10, which is net backwards, right? So there's your 80 MA up here on this one, but again, I've never heard of this name, so a little bit of caution. But there's definitely some volume coming in it here after earnings. And then UiPath, right? So a big push here over these levels. We had a lot of upper shadows. We even had an upper shadow right here and an upper shadow here, but it does continue to grind its way up. Just a little bit of caution off of that one. So some good stuff there. Really appreciate it. And bullish bearish trades, let's see, we got Facebook. Let's take a look. So Facebook, yep, nice measure move up on this one here too. Again, a lot of strong names in the big tech names today. So really cool stuff there. VIX kind of just got plummeted here to the bottom of the daily cloud and below the 50-day moving average, right? And we lost this zone altogether, right? So that not surprised to see a little bit of bullish price action here in the futures this evening. So we'll see how that holds based on this VIX kind of just getting crushed here today. So good find on that one. Apple again, nice move as well. Intraday, really, really strong price action right at the open, right? Good move right here. So it's got a little bit of a push down at the end of the day. But inside day, we'll see if we take the inside day up. The inside day up is right at this level right here, right? That prior support level that had become resistant. So let's see if we can get above that. If we can, try to get out of the cloud. If not, look for maybe another pullback to the 200-day moving average on that. Unity, always interesting on this one here. This is a pretty interesting one. Got a move the other day on the Netflix gaming news. Right, so they probably end up using something like Unity, right, for some sort of backend if that's what they're working for. But up to the 50-day moving average here on Unity, so we'll see if that holds. And then ON, let's take a look. So ON with a little bit of follow through here today after yesterday's red day, but find a little bit of overhead resistance there at the cloud. So we'll see how that goes. So good stuff there. Ollie Wally, what's going on? Let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla with an outside day here today, guys. Looking pretty interesting right here. This is one of those type of moves here that if it wants to get going, it can get going, right? Otherwise, we may just be working on this 1, 2, 3, this wave 4 move, ABC wave 4. So let's see how that ends up finishing there for Tesla. AHT, let's take a look. Outside day on this one here too. Again, kind of a penny-ish type name, but I would just kind of keep an eye on these geometric lines right here to see if we could break out of it, right? And if we get any volume through there, see if we get any follow through on that. And then the JAG-X, let's take a look. So Jaguar Health, let's take a look here. So this with a nice move here, right? Good confirmation volume, good volume here today. Let's see if we get any follow through on that one. Nice find there. I love it. Good stuff. Bob, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at Google. So Google with a great push up here today. I know some members traded this long at the open today. I mean, just about the big names, right? The FANG names were strong at the open today. And they had, the chop later in the day, but just a strong open today. And so I know folks did well on that in the group today. So good job there. We'll see if we get any follow through again. Decent candle. I would like to see a little bit more volume on it, but nice stuff there. LRCX, one another. This is a risky one too. Inside day up, but hanging on to the cloud. So we'll see if that can get constructive there and try to work its way up too. So good stuff, good finds. Otas, what's happening? Good to see you. Let's take a look at Twilio. So Twilio, again, kind of that same thing, that red day up, right to the 200-day moving average. To see how that holds here, if that's any sort of resistance. PLTR got a little bit of action here today. Again, a little bit of volume there above the 80 EMA. So we'll see if that can get some follow through. Maybe work its way up to the 50-day moving average. I think they had like some sort of contract that ended up being kind of interesting, maybe with the Space Force or something like that, right? So X, again, marks spot over the 50-day moving average. Could have used a little more volume here today. Again, one of the things we're looking at is potential for a cup and a bearish cup and handle right here to break down below the channel, but right now it's still holding onto the channel, so we'll keep an eye on that one there too. ZEK, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at Dash. So DoorDash, guys, this is the dumpster fire stock name right here. Huge breakout candle the other day and a lot of chops since then. Let's see if we can get above those levels, so some volume. See if this thing really wants to get going again, but it's just kind of blah, right? X still holding on the bottom of the channel right there. Roblox, guys, to all the dads out there, really nice stuff. Or all the and the moms too, like to load up on Stash with Roblox for the kids. But nice push right here, right? So let's see if that goes. Again, I'm not sure what the underlying news is on this. It kind of moved the other day too with Unity, but it looks like the gaming names, the video game stocks were pretty strong today. And then TTD hanging in there too above the 80 EMA. Would like to have seen a little more volume on that, but good stuff there. 2020 says, oh, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. GMBL with some good volume today. Again, I guess the gaming names and the gambling gaming names all were pretty decent strong today. So nice push there over the 80 EMA. Let's see if we can get any follow through on that one. And GDX looks like it's forming a bull pennant, right? So it's getting really, really tight in here with an inside day here today as well. And then Slugger, Super League Gaming. I love it. Inside day right here. Ended up closing down here below the 80 EMA. But could be kind of like an A, B, C type formation. It's kind of like a 1, 2, and then might get going here before its earnings conference call, I guess, whatever they have coming up here. Otas, yeah, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I always appreciate it. Did Boeing do a false breakout today? I mean, it really didn't do much. I mean, it's kind of hanging in there. I mean, it's not really breaking out super strong right now. I mean, it's still bullish. It just kind of lost volume and it right into the daily cloud right there. We definitely wanted to keep an eye on it. It was decent today. They bought the dip on it, right? So it gave a good dip buy opportunity here today, and we'll see. Like we said yesterday, the big thing that this is a nice breakout that it did out of this level right here. But in terms of the macro picture, right, it's still basically bearish, right? So we kind of looked at this yesterday here. This is the macro trend line right here that we want to see it try to break out of, and we're not quite there yet. So we'll see. It came back and retested the trend line and bounced, so let's see if we get any follow through on that one. Could be interesting. So good stuff. And the Q's looking strong. Let's take a look. Yeah, Q's nice strong candle here today. Again, they had good relative strength. Daily chart pushing above the daily cloud. Would like to have seen a little more volume on it, but anything could happen going into tomorrow too. So again, so far this week is looking pretty bullish. So Fast Johnny, you can see on YouTube. Nice, I really appreciate it. And then yeah, sure, Microsoft's on the tech issues. I know exactly. Goodness gracious. But Google too with the Chrome sometimes. This drives me nuts. But Microsoft hanging in here, breaking out above the cloud. And yeah, there you go. Otas, yes, exactly the same thing. Would have liked to see a little more volume right here, but generally pretty strong with some of the other big names. Thierry, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look. So you got Neo on the radar. Let's take a look. So here we got an increased volume candle right here over the 80 MA, and we'll see if we can push up here and get to the 250-day moving average bow tie. Okay, zero. Interesting. Let's take a look. Then S ENV. Let's take a look. ENV. Then S. Strong day today. Let's see if we can get over these levels right here. Get through the thin cloud. OLED. Let's take a look. What do we do with an upper shadow off the 200-day moving average? Ulta. Ulta kind of hanging in here, right? A little bit of a pullback off of the cloud and the ADMA. We got earnings coming up on this one. And Rocky, you got snow on the radar. I like it. Let's take a look. So snow just kind of grinding its way up right here. Again, strong candle the other day, right? And kind of drifting a little bit higher. Maybe a triple pause day. So we'll see how we go from there. So then S, how did you get the arrows at the top to go through multi-timeframes? Yeah, this is one of the most frequently asked questions. You don't see those arrows? Yeah, so the big thing on this is you have to create your grid, right? And so you click this button up here and you get your grid, right? So I've got, the whole, basically the whole top row on this. And then what you want to do is you want to link the grid together, right? All the different parts of the grid, you want to link together by a color. Like I color code them with 9 just because it's easy to remember. It's the bottom one, right? So they're all color coded together so I can go to different time frames on it, stuff like that. You can also put different charts in different parts of the grid too. And then once you're done, if you click on the top right, this top right, this little box right here by patterns, and click restore cells, that'll kind of bring everything like this. And then if you just maximize your cells, sometimes that helps to kind of kick everything into place. So anyway, just a little bit of a tool on that one. So yeah, but you got to go to your grid you'll probably just see maybe one here, but you can stretch it out and make as many that you want in the grid, and then you can link them all together for the same ticker by having the same color on it, same color and number. So good stuff there. All right. Well, anyway, guys, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. If you're new here, be sure to click subscribe on YouTube. And whether you're new here or not, please hit the like button. It goes a long way. And I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning for the bubble report for those of us who are in the group and in the Discord. And either way, we'll still put the Good Morning Market Prep video out there for folks that follow us on Twitter, in the free Twitter, and here on YouTube. So really appreciate it, guys. Hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Thanks again for tuning in, for the requests and the questions. And I hope everybody has a good one. Stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first, and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And we'll talk to you guys soon.